They're doing it. Finally, Carnival is ditching the kids off of their cruise. Raise the roof. Also, we have a cruise ship that was denied access to a Caribbean island, and yesterday I got threatened. I straight up got threatened, and I've got a response to it. All that and more. Let's talk about it. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to La Lita Loga. I'm your host, Tony, here to talk you through everything going on in cruising. It's a cruise show. It's for your face. It's for your face on a Friday the 23rd of May, 2025. And wow, there's been a lot of clamoring out. Look, how's that old Dionne Warwick song go? I believe that children are the future. Teach them well and let them lead the way. I don't think she wrote that. We know who wrote it, Ludacris. But look, I wrote my own song that said, kids on cruises make cruises worser, because kids suck. No, I'm just kidding. Sometimes they do, especially when you get a pack of punk teenagers running around causing mayhem while everybody's trying to enjoy themselves. Or how about the gaggle of giggling teenage kids and youngins taking up a whole hot tub, peeing, pooping, closing the thing down? Man, look. There's Virgin Voyages if you want to cruise without kids, but a lot of people have clamored, hey, Carnival, why don't you do an adults-only cruise? And well, they're doing it. They're doing it. Interesting scenarios played out with the Carnival Miracle and the Carnival Conquest. The original plan was that coming up in August and September, those two ships would go into dry dock. Well, now the dry dock schedule has been revamped, and those cruise ships are going to be worked on in 2026. So they're like, okay, well, we had these ships clear. What should we do with them? And they're like, well, maybe we could just fill them up with adults only, no kids. Now, this is an interesting scenario. You can't just book these cruises. They're by invite only. And it seems like the cruise line are targeting primarily their high rollers. They want to take a ship and fill it up with whales. And that's not a buffet joke. That's a gambling joke. But they're going to take the high rollers. If you've ever been on one of these invite casino things, it's a madhouse anyways. It's not as bad as having a bunch of annoying kids on it, but it can be pretty intense, especially in the casino, everybody jockeying for a slot machine and trying to get a spot at the craps table. But look, maybe this is a test scenario. I don't know. They're not really saying anything other than we're doing some adults-only cruises. They're going to be invite-only. It's going to be primarily high rollers in the casino. But yeah, check your casino offers, because you may have a casino offer for a cruise that would be adults only on Carnival. I hope, it's interesting. I'm sure they work out the numbers on it, whether or not, people with families are going to spend more money or less money. I hope they release this test balloon and it flies high into the stratosphere as a good experiment, because I do like Carnival cruises. I think it's the wildest thing. Like, if you like to go and see a party and see party people that aren't uptight and, that kind of thing, and maybe it's a little aggressive for some people, I like it. And, but I do not like the kids sometimes on Carnival cruises. And I say the same thing about my kids are all getting up in age now. They're 24 to 34 this year. And sometimes I avoid cruising with them. I love them. I love to hang out with my kids, but I like it. I like my cruise experience to be somewhat kid-free. And you can't cruise all these great cruise lines without having to learn how to deal with kids. But man, if the cruise lines would carve out a few adults-only sailings, that would be pretty cool. Do you like cruising with kids? Do you have a great grandchild story that you're going to tell me, and tell me why I'm a horrible person for not wanting to cruise with kids? Do that. I would love to hear about your grandbaby. All of us would, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, so there you go, Carnival. Way to go. This next story, I hesitated to talk about it, but shoot, it's Friday before a holiday. Happy pre-Memorial Day, everybody. We talked about it the other day, where the longtime Princess Cruise captain of 30 years passed away suddenly while on a cruise, a 19-day cruise. And passengers received a letter in their cabin. I believe I saw that. But there's a lot of stories floating around there talking very publicly about how the passing of the captain was announced over the PA system. And do you think, I don't know how I feel about it. Like, how would you feel if you didn't know anything about this medical emergency? If you didn't know anything about the captain passing away, and you're at the casino or you're out by the pool deck or something, you're like, bong, bong, bong. Ladies and gentlemen, just a quick announcement. The captain of the vessel has passed away. I'm sure it was more sensitive than that. Do you think they should do that? Like, maybe I don't know. On Carnival, they probably would have fitted in between showtime at the main dining room. It's showtime. Big day coming up tomorrow in the Grand Turk. Also, the captain died. Now watch the waiters in Barry Manilow outfits sing Bruno Mars songs for you. I just want my creme brulee. Can I just go on the record again and say stop the showtime? Can I just get my creme brulee? What do you think? Is that bad form to announce the captain's passing like that? Or do you think that's the best way to keep passengers informed? I mentioned Grand Turk very specifically so I could use it to segue. There's a Princess cruise ship that got denied access to Grand Turk because a lot of people are sick on board. They got flu-type symptoms, respiratory dealios, and I guess like more than 50 people. So this is what happens when a cruise ship goes into a port. They interface with the port. There's often an agent there that interfaces between the cruise line and the port, and I think they do things like, what's the sick number? They have this kind of conversation. And Grand Turk, not a very big island, certainly, and the officials there on Grand Turk said, well, we don't want people on the island that are sick because everybody could get sick, and so your Princess cruise stop got denied. The cruise ship in question, Princess's Enchanted Princess, 3,660 passengers. It was only like 30 minutes before their stop in Grand Turk that guests were informed because of these illnesses, gastrointestinal also being the big one. Because of all of this, they would not have their stop in Grand Turk. I'll ask the obvious question, and not really about compensation. I guess we could ask whether or not the princess should compensate the people that didn't get to go to Grand Turk, especially the people that aren't sick. The real question at hand is, should the people that aren't sick, should they quarantine the people that are sick and throw stuff at them? We can discuss that. It seems like a viable option because they did make them miss a cruise port. Hope they all get better soon. Love them, promise. Look, I got 2 scam stories for you. The second one, I wouldn't even call it a scam. It's just people being stupid for Carnival. But before I do that, I want to take a break. I want to take a Friday afternoon dance break. Get up, get on up, get on the scene. There you go. That was from the R&B genre, and that was called What You Sayin' by Booker and the Yeomans. Did you dance? I hope you did. I'm feeling loose as I got physical therapy today at 3. I just want to let everybody know I hate the physical therapy. I don't hate it. It's just it takes about an hour and a half. I do usually feel good after it. It's exercise. It's a massage. I just wish my knee would feel better. It does feel better. But every time, yeah, it's 3 days a week. So it's like, okay, I don't like having a very structured anything in my life. I'm very anti-structure and authoritarian. And I feel like I have court-ordered physical therapy, which it wasn't ordered by a court. But yeah, that's my Friday afternoon before Memorial Day. Let me tell you about a couple scams that are going around out there. The first one is a telephone scam. There was a supposed Norwegian Cruise Line employee that took to Reddit to warn people about somebody calling passengers saying that there was an adjustment to their air, that they could get a better rate on their air, that they just needed to provide them with a payment method. All of that stuff. Look, I think, of course we know that scammers are the scum of the earth, that there's a special place in the nether world for them, and that they're just trying to prey on people that are good intentioned. I just want a better price on my airfare. I just want a better price on my cruise. A lot of people want that out there, and I think these despicable, horrible people, they prey on that. And so you got to put your defenses up. It's sad that we live in such a place where if somebody legitimately calls you to try to help you out, you have to be defensive about it and say, okay, what's a number I can call you back at? Or, somehow verify that this is actually through the cruise line. Anybody call, I really don't even answer my phone. If I don't recognize the phone number, I don't answer my phone. And, maybe I am missing out on some deals, but I would rather err on the side of caution than to get scammed that way. So if you're on Norwegian and somebody calls to offer you air at a cheaper price, be wary of that, because people are getting scammed out of money for that. And then the second scam, I guess I saw an article calling it a scam. I don't think it's a scam, but people are wild. Let's file this one under people are wild. There's a mediocre private area on Carnival. Like, it's not even that special. It's cool. I'm not trying to take anything away with it, but the Havana area on the Carnival cruise ships, I believe starting maybe with the Vista class, it may have came out, it's somewhere in the Vista class that it came in. It's in the new XL class. They got like a hot tub. They've got some, exclusive deck chairs. They got like a deck, maybe a pool, something like that. But to go out there and to enjoy those amenities, you have to have a wristband, because there's crew members that are inspecting the wrists of people out there to make sure that they can legitimately be in the exclusive areas of the Havana area. And their whole job is just to look at wrist. Looking at wrist. And they have a color code system out there. And so on certain cruises, the wrist that they're staring at has a rubber band on it of some certain color. And if you don't have that, then you get tossed out. They bring the big bouncers in and they toss you out. Some people got wise to it, and somebody got entrepreneurial about it, and then some other people said, oh, this is a way that we can get over. Some people were posting on eBay and selling their previous wristbands. So these people had paid to stay in the Havana area. They had the wristbands. And so it seems like they're trying to recoup. I'm all for it. I'm all for making money. They tried to recoup some of their money back by selling their wristbands. And then some other people who wanted to go out into the Havana area but didn't want to pay the price for the Havana area went, wow, if I just bought these wristbands off of eBay, I can just wear those, and then I can go out to the Havana area. I can get over. I'm that kind of scumbag. I can just get over. So, Carnival got wise to it, and they try to switch it up. You don't know what color it's going to be. I listened to my friend Don talk about this yesterday. Don, man, he said, what you could do? You can just buy a color for every cruise. I was like, well, there you go. Don't do that. But wow. How much more? I don't think these rooms, it's really not that great. I guess. I mean, I've seen it. Maybe it's because I'm not an outdoor person, but don't do that, I guess. But that's I don't even know why. I think the story is interesting to me. The big question is this. I guess we'll all be dirtbags. If you could get over and try some exclusive for-pay thing on a cruise ship, what would it be? What cruise line, and what would the thing be? I'll tell you the answer. If I could somehow get into the Haven on NCL without paying the Haven price, I would sneak in there every time, because that stuff's nice. I've never been on the yacht club on MSC. I heard that's super nice. So I get it, but I wouldn't do that. But what's the one? I'll leave some other choices down in the comments. Please participate in the show. That very first comment's all about your participation. Somebody threatened me yesterday. Somebody threatened me, like, if you don't talk about what we're saying when we answer your question, then we're gonna not answer your question anymore. And you know what I say? Don't answer the question then. It's for all of us to read and enjoy. I mean, my gosh. I mean, I hate being threatened over, if you don't do this, I'm not gonna click the like button. Or if you don't do this, I'm not gonna, don't watch then. You're not our people. You are our people. But if you gotta threaten us, if you gotta threaten other viewers by that you're gonna withhold this or withhold that, then I take your non-stinking poop somewhere else. How about that? How about that? Boy, that was a little tangent. Look, you haven't seen this video. And now that person's not going to watch it either. But watch this video next. Subscribe for more. Happy Friday, everybody. Tone for Lot Lido Local. Till next time, we'll see you on the Lido. Bye.